Hi guys, my name is Becca and welcome back. So today is Sunday, July 8th. It's the end of the first week of July, and that means it's the end of the first week of the Magical Readathon Owls edition. Owls Magical Readathon, hosted by Book Roast. It's a month-long readathon. It's a Harry Potter themed. It's what's it called? It takes from the exams that you have to take at Hogwarts. The Owls is the one that you have to take, and then the Newts is an optional one that you can take. I think it's sort of like, if I can remember, it's been a while since I've read Harry Potter. I really need to do a reread of Harry Potter, but I believe Owls is sort of like getting your bachelor's, and the Newts would be sort of like getting your master's, maybe not, maybe I'm just really stupid, I don't know. But the Owls, I guess, is a mandatory one you have to take, and the Newts is one that you don't have to take, but you can take if you want. But it is definitely a harder exam. It has more to it. So for the Owls, there's 12 subjects, 12 prompts, one for each subject. It bases on the classes that you take at Hogwarts. So I already did my TBR and everything. I did that last week, and it's just an update to let you guys know how I've been doing this week. I wanted to do these kind of weekly progress reports. It's just so you know, I could talk to you about these books and you guys can see how I've been doing. So yeah, oh my god, I have my notebook here with everything that I had. Okay, I'm just gonna move that. So I've only completed 2 books for the readathon so far. I've completed My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Birdie Ashton, and Jodi Meadows, aka the Lady Janies. This is a historical, or not historical, this is a fantastical, hilarious retelling of Jane Eyre that has ghosts, and Jane Eyre is a seer and she can see these ghosts and she can interact with them. And Charlotte Bronte, the author of Jane Eyre, is the main character in this, and she's Jane Eyre's best friend, and she's writing the story as it's happening, and it's actually really funny, really good. I think I've never read Jane Eyre, I've never seen any adaptation, but I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought this was pretty good. There is some romance in it. I've never read Jane Eyre again. Like I said, I've never seen any adaptation, so I have no idea how it's supposed to happen with Jane and Mr. Rochester. The only thing I've ever known were those 2 names, Jane and Mr. Rochester. I don't know anything else about this book or about that book or anything. But so Jane is a teacher at Lowood, I think it's called. Yeah, I think it's called Lowood. Maybe. Possibly. I'm not sure. I can't find the name for it. But she's a teacher, and she wants to be a governess, and like I said, she can see ghosts. So this man, Alexander, who is a star agent for the he's a star agent of the Society for the Relocation of Wayward Spirits. Okay. And he finds out that Jane is a seer, and he wants to, what's the word? I can't think of the word. But he wants her to join them. He wants her to join the society. And they don't have, like, many females. I think a lot of the females have already died out, or, like, have died. So she's, like, the only female they'd have, and they really need her. I'm sucking at this synopsis. Let's just say, yeah. So they don't really have any females in their society, so they really want her to join them, and they really need her, and she just wants to be a governess, and she finds a placement at Thornfield Hall, which is Mr. Rochester's estate, and she declines the offer. She doesn't want to be in a society. And Charlotte Jane's best friend, wants to join the society herself. She really wants to be part of the society. And so she decides to help Alexander get Jane to join them. I thought this was really cute. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. Again, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't love it as much as I loved My Lady Jane, but the Tudor era is just so dear to my heart. Like, it's just, I love that era so much, and I love everything about Tudor history, that I think that one would have just been more up my alley than this one would have been anyway, but I still really enjoyed this, and it really made me want to know more about Jane Eyre, though I don't know if I'd be able to read it because me and classics don't really mix, but I think I do want to see an adaptation of Jane Eyre and see what actually is supposed to happen, because a lot of the things that happened like towards the end with like Rochester and everything, I'm just like, that has to do with ghosts. So what actually happens if ghosts weren't a thing of Jane Eyre in the first place? I'm just like, yeah, I just actually want to know what really happens in this. And I mean, it's making me want to, you know, watch an adaptation of it. So I think I'm going to have to do that. But yeah, this was for, I believe, Defense Against the Dark Arts. Yes, this is for Defense Against the Dark Arts for that. So I have 1 owl so far. Yay! And then the other one I completed was Do You Want to Start a Scandal by Tessa Dare. This was for History of Magic, I believe. So for history, which was to read a historical fiction. I've read historical romance. It says it right there. So I'm counting it. I don't know. Maybe I will pick up Salt of the Sea by Brutus Appetis. I do have that book. And I did think about that for a little bit, but I really wanted like a romance, like just something to clear my palate, because I have so much fantasy on this that I didn't want to add like anything else that was just heavier. And Salt of the Sea would just be very heavy. I don't know much about Salt of the Sea, but I do know, I think it's set in World War II, I think. And I think it's about a boat that sinks, like, it's bigger than the Titanic, I think. And I'm just like, I want to read that so much, and who knows, I might pick it up this month. Or I might just pick it up next month. But I just decided to I needed something to clear my palate, and that definitely happened, even though I did this before really reading a lot of fantasy, but I needed it. It was something I needed, so I picked it up, and I'm really glad that I did. This is about, oh, what are their names? This is about Charlotte and Pierce? Yes. Charlotte and Pierce. They, it's like a night of a ball, they're in this library just talking. Charlotte knows that her mother is going to try and matchmake her and Pierce together because he is a Marquess, and the mother really wants her to be with someone of high standing, and Charlotte is just trying to save him. She's like, just look, if you see my mother, just run the other way, don't fall for it. And so they're just talking in the library one night, or the night of the ball, and while they're talking, this couple comes into the library and starts to fool around and have sex. It's Charlotte and Pierce, you know, go and hide. They don't know who it is. All they know is that they can hear what's happening, and so they're hiding from it. Though someone else finds out about this, and they believe it was Charlotte and Pierce. So Charlotte, she only has 2 options. Her 2 options are to marry Pierce, because of course they believe that they were fooling around, or be ruined and just, yeah, have that on her name. Charlotte doesn't want to marry Pierce at all. She has this this plan to travel with her friend and she really wants to do that, and so she doesn't want to marry Pierce. That's why she was trying to stop this in the first place. So she decides to investigate and try and find these mystery lovers and find out who they are, so she doesn't have to marry Pierce. But of course, along the way, they start to form a romance, and I like it. I really enjoyed it. This is like, okay, let me see what this is like the 5th in the series. Actually, I think it's like book number 4 in one series. Okay, so this is book number 4 in the Castles Ever After series, and book number 5, I believe, in Spindle Cove. Right? Yeah. Book number 5 in the Spindle Cove series. Because both of our main characters, Charlotte is from the Spindle Cove series, I believe. Like, this is the first book I've ever read by Tessa Dare, so I didn't even know this is a 5th in a series until I was looking on Goodreads, and it said, book number 4, book number 5, and you're like, what? Book 4 in Castles Ever After, and book 5 in Spindle Cove, and I'm like, great. So this is like really far down. You don't have to read them in order, of course, but there are some, like references to the other books, which I did pick up on. I did realize that would be a reference to another book, so I think I am going to pick up a lot of the other ones. And I do have one book. I believe it's When a Scot Ties the Knot. And so that is the 3rd book in the Castles Ever After series. Okay. So at least I've got like the 2 in that series. Okay. So this is like later on in the series. What was I talking about before this? But I did enjoy it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This has some sexy times, and I really liked it. I really liked the 2 main characters. I really enjoyed the romance between them. I thought it was funny at times. There were just some moments where I wasn't really, like, the main character, you know, probably said something or just did something that kind of like annoyed me a little. And then Pierce has like some secrets of his own, which you really can tell throughout the whole book, and you kind of know, because he sort of says, you have sort of from his point of view as well from her, so you know sort of what's going on. It's good. I give it 3.5. I am going to be picking up others in the series, and probably picking up Tessa Dare's other series. She has 2 other ones, the Stud Club trilogy and the Wanton Dairymaid trilogy. Okay. I've heard Tessa Dare was really good. I'm glad that this was my first, because I did really enjoy it. And this was for, like I said, the History of Magic. So, 2nd owl completed. Okay, so now we'll get into the books that I'm currently reading. And I do say books, because, well, just ended up happening that way. So the first book I picked up was Eldest by Christopher Paolini. This is the 2nd in the Inheritance Saga. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've heard me talking about the series. I need to complete the series this year. It just has to happen. I needed to get it off my, like, TBR. This has been pretty much on my TBR for 10 years, because I've started reading this series when I was in high school, and it's been about 10 years. So I'm sick of it being on there, and the only one I was truly on my TBR was the 4th book, because I haven't read that one yet, and I read the other 3. So I'm just rereading them so I can finally get to the 4th one and finish it. So what I decided to do, because I knew this one was going to be hard for me to read, I decided to pick it up pretty much at the very beginning of the month and only read a certain amount a day. So I'm trying to read like 50 pages of it a day, though that's not exactly going according to plan, because there are some days where I don't read it, and there was a day where I didn't want to read the 50 and I just read 25. I am on page 245 out of like 600 and something. 670 pages, like around there. I am sort of enjoying it. It's a lot like Lord of the Rings. It has its own world, and I mean, this is like a high fantasy with its own world. It has its own language, like it has its own Elvish language, and I'm just like, it's good, but I don't really want to be reading it. Like, that's a problem. I'm forcing myself to read those 50 pages sometimes, and like, they're literally nights where I'm literally just reading this right before I go to bed, and that's not the greatest thing. And then I try to pick it up in the morning, and I don't really want to. But this has pretty much from like two perspectives. You have Aragon, who I love from the first book, and I do enjoy those moments. But then you have Roran, which is Aragon's cousin. And I don't like Roran. I don't care for his parts at all. And I'm like literally just wanting to skim everything that happens in his chapters. Every time I see that it's a Roran chapter, I'm like, and it's not just like Aragon, then Roran, then Aragon, then Roran. It's like Aragon for a couple chapters, and Roran for like 4 chapters, and then Aragon for like a couple chapters. And I'm like, I want more Aragon. Can we just get away from Roran? I can't stand him right now. I just don't care for him at all. But again, like I said, I'm on 245, so I'm not even halfway. I wanted to be halfway done already, but that's not happening. As long as I can finish this by the end of the month, I'm happy, and that's all that matters. Really, right now, I just really want to finish this by the end of the month. And this was going to be for, I don't even know. I didn't really have this down for anything, but if anything, it could be for like Care of Magical Creatures or Charms. Maybe something else. I don't think so. But yeah, Care of Magical Creatures or Charms. It worked for either of those, so at least I'll have this down, because this is all I really wanted to prioritize. The other one I picked up I thought would be a little bit better, and that is Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funk. This is like a middle grade dragon book. It's about a boy, like a human boy, a dragon, and a brownie, which is like a cat-like creature. I don't know. And it's just about them going on this quest to find the Rim of Heaven, which is where dragons used to reside, away from humans. That's where they used to live, pretty much. But now dragons are living, or at least this little nest of dragons are living in this other place. Humans apparently have found where they are, and they want to like tear it down. And before they get there, though, Firedrake the dragon decides to go on the quest to find the Rim of Heaven so he can take his dragon friends away, where they would be safe. And Sorrel is the brawny, the cat-like creature, and she and Firedrake are pretty much friends, so they go on that quest together, and then along the way they meet Ben, which is the boy, and he's like an orphan. He is, I think, just living on the streets. I think he lived in this one factory where they landed. I don't even know, like, where exactly they landed. I want to say they landed, like, New York or something. I'm not entirely sure exactly. But, they landed, like, near a factory, and that's pretty much where he was living. And in this one scene, the humans are tearing it down. It's gonna be, it's going down for demolition, it's, been subjected to demolition. I can't talk. And Firedrake finds out about it, and just take him along, because this poor little boy is all alone, and he's so young, and I love that. I am 153 pages in. This is another one where I'm sort of just reading like 50 pages. Trying to read 50 pages a day. I'm not exactly doing the best with that, but I am enjoying it. Like, this is another one where I'm trying, like, I'm pretty much forcing myself to pick it up, even though it's like, it's not something I really want to be reading right now, but when I do pick it up, I'm liking it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really loving Firedrake. I can't stand the brownie Sorrel. I can't stand her. She's just like really freaking annoying. Oh my god. But I love Ben and I love Firedrake, and right now there's like a bad dragon trying to trying to take Firedrake, though yeah, that's what's happening like right at the moment. And I am enjoying it, but again, it's not really something I want to be picking up right now. So this was for either Care of Magical Creatures or Charms as well. If anything, this will probably be for Charms, and this will probably be for Care of Magical Creatures. Who knows? Because I put Uprooted by Naomi Novik for for Charms. We'll see if I even get to that book, but these are the two dragon books that I'm reading so far. And then the last one that I'm currently reading is one that I literally just picked up like this morning, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I picked this one up for arithmetic, to read a book with a number on the title, or in the title. 7 works. I literally just picked this up today, and I'm already 60 pages in, and I'm loving it. I am like literally loving. This is the book that I want to be reading right now. The other 2 books I don't really want to be reading at the moment. I know I'm going to try and force myself to read at least 50 pages of each today, but I don't know if that's going to happen because I literally just want to read the entire thing of this today. Oh my god. I'm loving this. This is about this old iconic Hollywood star or Hollywood movie icon who she's finally ready to tell the truth of her life and everything that happened in her life, and she gets this like no-name magazine reporter, Monique, and she wants her to write her biography, and Monique has never done that. She's not really she doesn't really have a name for herself yet in the journalist like community, but Evelyn doesn't care. She wants her to do it. We don't know exactly why Evelyn wants this, but she does, and she's very adamant about that. And it's just about her life and her 7 husbands, and I know she's biracial. I've heard she's bisexual. I haven't gotten there yet. But there are moments where I have a feeling I know she is, like, for sure. I love that each part is, what's it called? Is, like, each part like kind of breaks up and it tells you which like husband you're gonna get. So like I just finished the Ernie Diaz part, so that was that. Like this was the intro, like this is the very beginning, and then this is the Ernie Diaz husband, and then now I'm on Don Adler, and I'm just like, I'm eating this up. I just want to be reading this all the time. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this video and I'm going to go read this. I do know I can listen to the audiobook. I have that on Scribd, and I want to listen to the audiobook, but I just really want to be reading this too. Though I think tomorrow, if I'm still reading it, I'm going to be listening to it back and forth from work, and probably while I'm on break at work as well. Who knows though? I could just finish this tomorrow before I even go to work and have to read something else. But yeah, these are the 3 books that I am currently reading, and the 2 books that I have finished, and so that's 5 books. 5 books so far. Not so bad. I have 12 on my list. There are 12 subjects, 12 prompts, so I have 12 to read plus other ones. I have also read a book that has nothing to do with this. That's why I'm not including that in this video, because it won't fit for any of those. But I did read an extra book because I wanted to. I was in the mood for it, so I decided to pick it up. So I'll talk more about that in like my mid-month wrap up. So yeah, these updates, like these progress reports, won't have anything to do with the books that I read that have nothing to do with this readathon. I will just show those in like my wrap-ups. I just won't include them in these videos. But yeah, I'm going to be doing for this readathon and the next readathon, so you'll see that. So August is going to be fun. I can't wait for that. I mean, this is already, like, this is only, it's 12 subjects and 1 prompt for each. So there's only 12 prompts for this readathon. In August, the Newts readathon will happen, and for Newts, it's 3 prompts for each subject. So that's 36 prompts. That's a total of 36 books that you could pick up if you wanted to do all of it. And I just, there's no way I'm going to be able to read 36 books in a month. But I don't even think I'm going to try. But I still have to think like of the books that I want to choose for those. Also, if I want to, let's say, like if I want to do a certain subject, or in a certain, like those prompts, I have to make sure that I complete that prompt, I have to complete that OWL for that subject. So I need to read all of them if I want to, try and accomplish any of them for next month. I'll talk more about that in my TBR for Newts when that comes along. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I was so hoping this wouldn't be a long video, but of course it is. What can you do? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again in another. Happy reading.